The media says, the establishment media, the fake media, they say, oh, there's no censorship in social media. That's all made up. That's all fake. You and I know that that's not true. You and I know the truth is that the social media giants would love to shut us down. They would love to shut us up. They would love to shut him up more than anything else, and we can't let them. And that's why we need to step up now, and I think we need to say to them, here's the deal. Google, Facebook, Twitter, they've gotten these special deals from government. They've gotten a special giveaway from government. They're treated unlike anybody else. If they want to keep their special deal, here's the bargain. They have to quit discriminating against conservatives. You agree with?
On this episode of Just Informed Talk, we're going to take a look back at the latest Q posts. They tell us all about the connections that we're going to see being made in the news coming up in the future between NXIVM, Jeffrey Epstein, and a whole bunch of high-ranking politicians, celebrities, and others. You guys are going to want to stick around to watch that and a whole lot more. Hi, I'm Craig, and welcome to another episode of Just Informed Talk. I always like to begin by saying thank you to everybody who's hit that subscribe button. If you haven't, come here to the landing page, click the big red subscribe button, make sure to buff notifications, and don't forget to hit the like button if you guys like this content and want to see me make more. So we're going to pick right up where we left off. We have a bunch of new Q posts we're going to go over. We left off at Q post 3414, and we're going to be picking up at Q post 3415. So with that being said, before we dive into these latest Q posts, I'd like to just remind everyone to come back here, watch these videos, share them on your social media if you want to get caught up on everything that we've been covering here, all of the latest breaking Q posts and the different news stories that get covered here on the channel. It's a good place to get started. Just go back as far as you want and keep watching videos. And we all know what's happening with YouTube. In case you were not aware, they've basically gamed all their algorithms against content like this, which basically goes around the mainstream media stranglehold on the narrative and gives you a different side of the story that they're terrified of you hearing. So the fact that you're here is a good step. But if you want to help others get to this point, go and hit the share button. It's at the bottom of this video. There's a button that says share. Go press it. That's how you get the info out there. Share it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever. All of your, places to share it. Get it out there. And if you scratch your head and go, what is QAnon the Great Awakening? What's this guy talking about? Watch this video. What is QAnon the Great Awakening? It'll give you all that information plus a whole lot more. So today we're going to pick up here at Q post 3415 and let's just dive right into it. The first post here is an article that just came out today talking about a court ruling which has allowed President Trump to defund Planned Parenthood, allowing him to cut $60 million in taxpayer funding. Now, this is something that Q has talked about, before on the board, saying, look, the way that Planned Parenthood basically has this incredible amount of lobbying powers because of the way the system works. They lobby politicians to funnel taxpayer dollars into their organization, which they then funnel back into Planned Parenthood, back into political contributions, and it gets to be this never-ending cycle of, politician lobbies for funding for Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood receives funding. Planned Parenthood takes funding, pays politician. That's literally what's happening, and it's really disturbing. And Q has talked about this before, like I said, on the boards. One of the things that I thought was interesting, you guys remember liveaction.org was the organization that was banned from Pinterest, or shadow banned, if you will, put on a secret block list. And that was something that we just uncovered through Project Veritas and James O'Keefe. And this was a post we got back in February from Q, where he mentions a liveaction.org article, which talked about the fact that Planned Parenthood was covering up child sex trafficking. So why is this being highlighted here? Well, it relates directly back to what we're covering with regard to what Q is saying here, talking about Planned Parenthood news, more coming Q. So obviously this is the first of many pieces of news coming out. So what Q told us back in February was talking about how the Democrats were pushing to fund Planned Parenthood using taxpayer dollars, $500 million per year, asking where does that money go? It says past political donations of Planned Parenthood. What is the process of disposal regarding aborted fetuses? What regulations, who monitors are in safe place or in place to ensure that process is being followed? Why is there a new push by Democrats to legalize late-term abortions? See past drops regarding Planned Parenthood, regarding congressional report, warning graphic. This has nothing to do with a woman's right to choose tactic they deploy when challenged to activate liberal media hysteria. The focus is on the organization itself, and it gives another example there, and then it says, Ask yourself a very simple question. Given the amount of evidence demonstrating illegal and disturbing activities by Planned Parenthood, where is the FBI investigation? And gives this Fox News article, which talks about, and this is from December of 2017, talking about Planned Parenthood being under investigation by the Justice Department over sale of fetal tissue, like I said, as a part of what was uncovered through reporting by James O'Keefe and Project Veritas. But here's something very fascinating. This is seemingly would fit the time frame of what we've seen with Jeffrey Epstein, meaning Q told us that Jeff Sessions was the one who began the investigation into Jeffrey Epstein probably about 2 years ago. And now finally we have the unsealing of indictments and arrests coming. So if Planned Parenthood hypothetically was under investigation as according to this report back in 2017, we could be coming very close to the fruition of that or the end of that investigation where we're going to see arrests and indictments, which we can only hope given the nature of what that organization is responsible for doing. And then it talks about Rod Rosenstein and McCabe. It says, what senior political officials are providing cover to Planned Parenthood? What or will action be taken by DOJ FBI 2019 Q? So look, Q told us in 2019 action is coming, right? So guys, this could be a big hint, an indicator that Q, again, future-proofing past, where Q tells us that this is coming to the front. And obviously we saw what happened with Jeffrey Epstein being arrested, and that was about a 2-year investigation started by Jeff Sessions. Will we have the same basically outcome with this investigation that started back in 2017 by Jeff Sessions into Planned Parenthood and the illegal sale of and distribution of fetuses? So this is really fascinating if you start putting these pieces together. I just thought it was something worth noting, so I thought I'd bring that up. Now, the next one here is more of a, like, you'd have to be kind of an insider to get this, but I'll break it down for you. Q points to this post, and it's a post made by an anon who's making an argument against the board owner, meaning the person running the board over on 8chan, who has made this decision, I guess, to remove the top post. Now, every new bread, and this is getting a little convoluted for those of you who aren't following this, but okay, so there's a thread, and each thread contains 750 posts, and it's a continuous thread because once you hit 750 posts, somebody, one of the bakers, if you will, creates a new bread, and when you create a new bread, basically that's a new thread. And I'm sorry if I'm losing anyone here, but these threads are basically, open forums where you can post anything. You post it's a common thread. So what is basically being argued here by the anon is there's a section at the top that's carried over from one thread to the next, to the next, to the next, which has, the proofs of Q. It's got information about Q drops, and it's got information about different notable posts, and it's just got a whole plethora of information that's especially good for people who are like new to the whole Q research thing, because there's just a plethora of information there. And I guess one of the board owners decided that they want to get rid of that. And this was the Anon's response. The Anon said, I think the War Room and links to Q proofs and tools are essential components of the bread. They are up there to help Anons and new lurkers to Q research. It is one post per bread and has vital information for Anons and people. This is terms that you'd see only on the boards. And normies. It has the links to the sealed court cases, etc. If you cut that out of the bread, you are cutting out the heart of Q research. That War Room bread post will be essential to new eyes coming to the boards. The shills attack bakers all the time in the bread, and they have since the beginning. As a longtime anon, I don't think this is a wise choice. Saying also, CAPTCHA did not stop any shills. It just made things more difficult for all of us. Like when you're trying to post something important fast and you get stuck in a CAPTCHA for a minute or two as board owner, you should discuss these decisions with anons, bakers, and board viewers, I guess, before you, one person, decide to change the way the bread has been since November of 2017. I strongly disagree with shortening the bread and killing the War Room research links post. So Q just points to this. So I think that's saying something that means that, if you're the board owner out there, you should probably be paying attention, because Q agrees apparently with this anon, and I do too. If you do get into the research side of it and you do start going to the 8chan boards, you'll find that the some of the best places to start, especially if you're new, are going to be at the top of the bread, or the thread, if you will, the forum. And you're going to want to start there, and there's going to be a lot of information that you can take and use to do further research. So I thought that was fascinating. Thought I'd share it. Now, of course, here's the next thing here that we're going to look at. And it is this post. First, Q gives us this older post from May of 2018, which talked about Allison Mack. And it said, Allison Mack, NXIVM arrested date. When does a bird sing? Schneiderman resigns date. Coincidence? Eyes wide open. Who will be next? Watch New York City. Watch California. Q. And then, of course, the next one that's in this as well is Allison Mack of NXIVM sex cult naming big names. Mack is naming names. Big names in H. Wood, government, local, federal, proof. And then it said the Standard Hotel. So this is something that's also very important to remember. Allison Mack being one of the main top members of the NXIVM sex cult, where Keith Raniere has just been found guilty on charges of human trafficking and just all types of sexual crimes, sex crimes, and other crimes that pretty much there's a very long list. And it's been proven in court that they were engaged in satanic ritual occultism and really some sick, disturbing, evil stuff, right? But Q points this out to us and then says, gives us this tweet, of course, which is this Kim Sachs tweet, which talks about tonight on Ingram Angle interview with Alan Dershowitz. He says he was introduced to Epstein by LDR, and of course that's Linda Rothschild. And it says 12:05 mark, time may change since show still on, appears in last 2 minutes of interview. So here is the the interview itself. I'll throw the clip in here, and you guys can watch it.
Look, I was introduced to him by the Lady Rothschild. The people he hung out with at the time were the president of Harvard, the provost of Harvard.
Yeah,
my relationship with him was academic. We went to conferences. We had seminars in his office. None of us had any inkling that he had this other life. And as soon as we learned about it, obviously, all of us ended any kind of a social relationship.
So there you saw it. Alan Dershowitz indignantly saying he was introduced to Epstein by Lady Rothschild and the president of Harvard and the provost of Harvard. Well, that's pretty sick and disgusting that all of these people are hanging out together. And, just watching Dershowitz try to talk about what's going on here, if you guys watch the full interview here on the Ingram Angle, yeah, something seems a little off to me, especially in his character and what he's going through, because look, he may have thought he was safe and in the clear, and now he's realized that, it might not be that way. But I don't want to, presume anything. I know Q said that Dershowitz was on board. Does that mean that we was on board the flight to Gitmo or that he was on board with the movement and the cause? I'm not sure. All I know is that there is ample evidence to suggest that Jeffrey Epstein is very guilty of a lot of the crimes that he's being indicted for right now. And nonetheless, and it's like you can see there, Dershowitz says he met Epstein through Lady Rothschild, Linda Rothschild. So that's something fascinating, right? Q says, and this is something we'll read through here. It says, how does Linda Rothschild connect to the Bronfmans? Find the bridge. Think company. How is Bronfman connected to NXIVM? Go backwards. NXIVM. Who pleaded guilty? And then it gives this New York Times article, which talks about Claire Bronfman's role and how she pled guilty in the sex cult case, which, she's definitely going to be a part of this because she was the heiress to the Seagram liquor fortune. And she funneled millions, tens of millions of dollars to Keith Raniere over the years and this organization, NXIVM. So she was very much a key player in it. And a lot of the accusations say that basically she was the money behind Raniere and his crazed cult leadership, or whatever you want to call it. So then, looking at that, Q goes on to say, Allison Mack, when does a bird sing? Watch NYC News Unlocks 5-5 Q. So, interestingly enough, Allison Mack is the one who's singing. She's the one behind the scenes who basically rolled over on everyone. And I think there's going to be a lot of big names who were mentioned, who have been under investigation since back in 2018 when they first made the arrest of Allison Mack, and Q told us that she was singing. So there are cases being put together behind the scenes, I think, that are going to be huge when they come out. And again, for those of you who don't know, Q says find the bridge and think company between the Bronfmans and the Rothschilds. Well, that's pretty easy. They've had this financial company, which is called Bronfman Rothschild. Not very hard to find, not very clever name either. But if you look at the history, this was a company that was originally called Virchow Krauss Management, and Bronfman Rothschild was acquired by Bronfman and E.O. Rothschild families in 2015. Since then, the firm has grown in size and so on and so forth. Yeah, this is definitely the type of firm that you want to put your money in if, you know, you have $100 million and you are, you know, into these sick sex cults and evil satanic stuff. So yeah, definitely a great place if you're into all that, right? I say that, you know, obviously sarcastically, but still, this is the direct connection, I think. This is the connection between the Bronfmans and the Rothschilds, which is plain as day, and Q wants us to look and find that, right? And of course, like we said, Claire Bronfman is connected to NXIVM because she was the money man, money woman, whatever you want to call it, for Rainier, and she helped him fund this whole operation, right? So that being said, the next one here is a Q responding to his own post saying, what city was Epstein arrested in? New York City, 5-5, watch California, Q. So when Q says 5-5, it just means, like, do you understand? Do you get it? Loud and clear. But what city was Epstein arrested in? Obviously, I believe he was arrested in New York City. And that's what Q says. And then Q says, watch California. So I guess we're going to have some big stories coming out of California, especially if Allison Mack has been naming names. You know, she was out there in Hollywood big time with a lot of those creeps and pedos that exist in that sphere. So, you know, it wouldn't surprise me to think that, you know, she may have spilled the beans on some of those other individuals. I know that there's a lot of people out there that we've been looking at for quite some time, right? So now here's another story that's breaking, which I thought was pretty interesting. This was talking about R. Kelly, and apparently R. Kelly's been arrested again. This is like, I don't know, it's like fourth time he's been arrested for, sex crimes involving minors and sex trafficking crimes. Well, apparently this time it's pretty big. It's a pretty big deal. New York Police Department, NYPD detectives, and Homeland Security investigators went and arrested R. Kelly today, and they basically are charging him with sex trafficking. So this is really, really a new development in the story. So the story basically just kind of outlines the fact that he was also basically, back in February, he was charged with aggravated sexual abuse involving 4 women, 3 of whom were minors when the alleged abuse occurred. He pleaded not guilty and was released from Chicago's Cook County Jail after posting bail. But that didn't last very long, as now he is in custody again, being picked up, as I said, by the NYPD and Homeland Security under new charges of sex trafficking and sex crimes. So, look, these people are being uncovered, they're being exposed, they're being arrested. People have been complaining for quite some time. You know, where are the arrests? Where is the action? Nothing's happening. You know, this is all a LARP. Well, guess what, guys? We're in the middle of the storm right now, and we're going to have to just keep reporting on these stories as they come up. Q's pointing this out to us, as we should just keep aware of it. And finally, this is an interesting one. So the last post we got from Q before this new drop, 3414, was talking about only anons can fully appreciate the continued validation confirmations through covert series of mathematically impossible coincidences means in order to maintain structural integrity. Wheels up Q. Then President Trump tweets this out. So first off, this person, John James, or whatever, points this out, saying, Trump just retweeted an account dropped by hashtag QAnon, whose name is Save the Littles. Their cover photo is of 2 children from an interview here at YouTube talking about secret pedo and human sacrifice rings being exposed, dark to light. So first of all, this video right here, really disturbing. I'm not going to play it here on the channel because there's no reason. I mean, you guys, I'll leave a link to this tweet. You guys can go watch it on your own. But it's really disturbing. It's these two children who are talking about some really evil stuff that happens inside their family. And this is something that Q had pointed out to us before. But look, what's fascinating is here's President Trump retweeting, yeah, right here, Save the Littles at Eagle Lion 7, the same account that was tweeted or was posted by Q on the boards with regard to the video of the children. Now, President Trump is highlighting them and reposting them. So do you think that that's maybe just another signal from Q about what's really going on and President Trump and how this is not a LARP? We are not making this up. This is very real, and we are going to find each and every one of you criminal, sick scumbags. You're going to be arrested, and you're going to spend a long time in jail. I'm just putting it out there. So that is definitely something I thought was fascinating, and seems like that will be a good place to basically wrap it up. Q just says, now what are the odds of that? I don't know. At this point, I've given up on coincidences. Even if if something actually coincidental happens in real life, I'll just be like, oh, there's something more to this. There's something more to this, right? But I always know that there really aren't any coincidences because I do trust and believe in God's plan. And we are here helping to affect a positive change in the world. So that's what I think God's plan is calling us to right now. So that's what I'm so thankful for, especially for you guys and your help and support in all of this. But that's pretty much going to wrap this one up for me. A few more things before we go. Obviously, come here, watch these videos, share them on your social media, get the word out that way. Also, don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications so you get notified. And don't forget to leave your thoughts, theories, and insights below. I want to hear what you guys have to say about all of this. So go down in the comments. Let me know what you think about everything that we covered here. Whether we missed something, you have a new theory, new insight, put it down there and we can have a discussion down there. Because like I say, we always try to have our own Q board down in the comments, a good discussion for everyone to go join. A few other ways you can help out the channel. Come over here and find me on Twitter at JustInformYou, the official Twitter page for Just Informed Talk. Again, that's at JustInformYou on Twitter. You guys should go check that out and give me a follow. Also, don't forget to go check out the justinformednews.com website. It's justinformednews.com. You come here, you got links to the Q stuff, links to different news organizations, links to different breaking news, and of course, the latest videos from the channel. So you guys should go check that out. It's a good tool and resource for you guys that I keep going for y'all no matter what. So another way you can help out the channel, are you going to be in Miami this October and you want to come hang out with me and a bunch of other patriots who love this country at Trump National in Doral at Miami? I don't know about you, but I'm going to be there. And if you guys want to be there to see me, Charlie Kirk, Dinesh D'Souza, and a few other celebrities and big time stars who I haven't even, I can't really name yet because they're still trying to get them. But if you guys want to come here to this American Priority Conference, please go check the description in the video at the bottom of this video here. There'll be a link. Use that link. That's where you can get tickets. There's going to be a golf tournament, poker tournament, all for charity. There's going to be a great conference, great discussions, great speeches, great talks. You guys can't miss this. So if you're going to be in Miami, October 10th through 12th of this year, and you want to attend this conference, the American Priority Conference, go to the description, click that button. There'll be a link to where you can get the tickets. And also a few other ways you can help out the channel is to come over here on Patreon, patreon.com. The official website for the official Patreon page for Just Informed Talk is patreon.com/justinformedtalk. It's a crowdfunding website. You come here, you click this button, become a patron. It's a monthly donation. You set it and forget it. And now you're helping create content here on a regular basis. You guys are what keep this channel alive in the face of everything that goes on with YouTube, demonetization, no matter what. I know I'll be able to do this because of your support. So thank you so much for your support. When you guys come do this and you become a patron, know that you're helping create content here on the channel on a regular basis. Also, I have a GoFundMe set up if you want to make a one-time or anonymous donation. Links to both of those will be in the description. So with that being said, we do a segment at the end of each one of these episodes called God's Grace is Greater, where we talk about God's grace and how it is truly greater. So for tonight, we're going to use a piece of scripture. It's out of Psalm 11. It's verse 5 through 7. I want to share this with you. It talks about taking refuge in the Lord. It says, "The Lord examines the righteous and the wicked. He hates the lover of violence. He will rain burning coals and sulfur on the wicked. A scorching wind will be their portion. For the Lord is righteous. He loves righteous deeds. The upright will see his face." Simple. I mean, it's pretty straightforward and plain, but it is something to remember. The Lord examines the righteous and the wicked. What I think that's saying is that the Lord sees everything. And as it says there, burning coals and sulfur will be the portion for the wicked and the lovers of violence. But for the righteous, the Lord will give you his love and you will see his face. That's pretty simple, but 100% true. And we have to remember that when we stand up and we point out this evil and we go all in trying to expose it and to bring the light to show where this darkness was and to bring the light of God into those areas so that we can help others, we have to remember in our own hearts to remain strong and steadfast in our righteousness and in our faith to the Lord above, because that is truly the greatest gift that we all have, is our eternal salvation, which has been bought and paid for with the blood of Christ on the cross. And we have our Father above in heaven, and we have the Holy Spirit, which lives inside of each and every one of us every single day. So embrace that and pull all of the power of God into your soul and live a righteous life. And then you can see these great and wonderful blessings that God has in store for you, and you will be saved, and the upright will see the face of the Lord. So that's where I'm going to go ahead and leave it. I want to say thank you guys for watching this episode. Again, come here if you haven't, hit the big red subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell for notifications, and hit it, punch it, smash it, bop it, twist it, kick it, whatever. Hit the like button if you guys like this content and want to see me make more. But with that being said, thank you again for watching Just Informed Talk. My name is Craig. Godspeed and God bless each and every one of you, Patriots.